Right. Good morning, guys. Wow. Can you guys hear me? Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys had a wonderful weekend. Just like mine, because I think I was sleeping all through. So, um, so today, basically, I won't be doing anything technical, just talking, because presentations are just will be next week Monday. And at least there's some things that you guys need to know. Compared to the last presentation, at least there's some things I feel you need to know before you start preparing for your presentation. And the group will share today, probably before 6 o'clock. So you get to know your team members who you'll be presenting with. Then how you guys want to present, it's up to you. If it's four people presenting, breaking it down into four different phases of the presentation, it's up to you. If you want two people to do the presentation, it's fine. But normally it's not advisable for one person to do the presentation because at some point, when one person does the presentation, if it's not effectively done, it will begin to look boring. Okay. So So I'm assuming that you guys either you were in the last session or most likely you've watched the video. So all you need to know concerning making your visuals are actually in the last video, in the last session. So how to let's say for those questions that I sent to you guys, how to make the visuals for those questions. So I was able to give guidelines from question 1 down to, I think, question 9. Then the ideas you used in doing question 9, I want you guys to be able to do the remaining, that is down to question 16. Okay, it's not difficult, just the same idea, just different fields you're using. Okay, so all right. So I'll be just be talking about tips for effective presentation. Tips for effective presentation. Because on Wednesday and on Friday, I won't be having a session. Okay, what I'll be doing is I'll be chipping in, depending on the time you guys are having your team meeting, but I'll be coming in to like just see what you guys are doing. If you need guidelines, then I can give you guidelines. So whenever you're meeting and you want me to step in, please do tell me before the time so that I can prepare myself, like clear my schedule and every other thing I need to do, okay, for that particular time. Then you and your team can just book a slot for me. I think I'll just make a calendar for that. You can book a slot, then I would step in and give you guys guidelines. Okay, what you need to do, what you need to stop doing, what you can present, what you don't need to present. And if you can make your presentation in the PowerPoint slide, that will be awesome. Like very wonderful. If you can do your presentation using, I would advise you not to do it using Power BI. Okay, what you can do is you can enlarge the visual, then take a screenshot of it. So you don't need to actually you don't need to present every single visual you did, but you need to present the ones that are passing the useful information. So let's just say you did a total of 20 visuals, like 5 in 4 different slides. You don't need to present 20 of them. You just need to pick the ones that communicates a lot. So your visual should be able to tell a story. If you can use clip arts like pictures from the internet, fine, that's wonderful. Because whenever I do my presentations, I really don't use the visuals, most of the visuals I use. I just understand what the project is all about. Then I use cartoon pictures because those stuff makes people remember and follow through whatever you're saying. Okay, so if you can use Google Slides, fine. If you can use PowerPoint, wonderful. Just don't make it too technical. Okay, because you have to assume that you're presenting to a non-technical audience and also a technical audience. So if you're putting a lot of technicalities in your presentation, you are going to, the non-technical audience will get lost along the way and they won't even be able to follow through. So making a story, using it as in a story form makes it better, right? It makes it better. And also, if you're going to be doing a story form and you're talking technical terms, please just try and explain the technical terms. It's better that way. I think the recording for the presentation will be available to everyone. So we'll probably be doing it different times. Might take 2 presentations at once, go for a break, then come back, take the next group. So we don't want to rush everything. So presentation, the recording is going to be available for every single group. All right. Then okay, what else? Yeah, so what I wanted to talk about today was actually tips for an effective presentation. Tips you need to know for you to make an effective presentation. Okay, so the first one is, as usual, like I always say, you need to understand the problem statement or understand the project as a whole. Because if you don't understand the project to its simplest form, it will be difficult for you to actually present it or tell a story about it. So the idea is understand what you're trying to do, understand the information you're trying to pass across. Okay, before you actually start, you need to know the information you want to pass so that it's like seeing the end from the beginning. So once you're able to see the end, then you can start walking through the different steps it takes for you to get to the end. It's like planning. Okay, so you need to understand the problem statement, understand the information, basically understand the information you want to pass across. Okay, then the second thing is you need to be able to tell a story. Let what your presentation be in a story form. Okay, it's optional, but it's more effective that way. Once your presentation is in a story form, it's very effective that way. People, I'm sure whenever someone wants to, or any gist or conversation you've had with your friends, any conversation you've had with your friends, and they were gisting you about something that happened sometime, I'm sure you can still remember it till today. Okay, it's still in your head till today. Maybe you guys had the conversation 5 years ago, and the person said, "Remember that thing I told you that time? That's when this guy did like this, when that guy did like this." You can recall. So that's the power of telling stories. Okay, it sticks in your head, right? So that's what it does to the audience. It makes them remember whatever it is or the information you tried or you passed across at that particular point in time. So let your presentation be in a story form. Then number 3, let it be concise, let it be straight to the point. Okay, you don't want to beat around the bush. I'm sure stories they'll tell you this with but this time around, let it just be straightforward. Let it be concise. You don't have to beat around the bush. You don't have to go from point A to point Z to point C to point D. Just A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, but let it be in a story form. All right. Then the next thing you also want to pass across is the context of your story. All right. By context, I mean it should have an introduction. It should have a body, the same way you write letters, right? An introduction, a body, and also a conclusion, okay, and recommendation. So when you're presenting, you're going to introduce the whole project or the topic you're trying to present. Then your body should do with your findings, what you're able to find, your analytical findings. Then your conclusion should be what you concluded from your findings. Okay, what you found out, what you saw. Then your recommendations should be, what are you recommending, or what steps do you think the company can take to solve whatever problem it is they are currently facing at the moment. Okay, so we know that the problem this company is facing is productivity of employees, because they're always coming late, or they're always being absent from work. Yeah, and this is affecting the productivity of the company. So what steps should be taken to solve this issue? Right. Then okay. Then the next point will be make sure that when you're doing your presentation slide, if you're using Google Slides, the presentation slide, make sure that you do enough word check. That is, let your spelling be correct. Let your I'm sure sometimes, I know sometimes when we're typing we get to make mistakes, right? That's normal. But when it comes to presentation, we need your spelling check to be intact. Make sure that the words you're using are correct. Make sure that you're using right indentations. That is where you're to use where you're to put full stop, let the full stop there. Where you have to use images. Let the your font style be consistent. So you don't want to be using big fonts in this slide and small fonts in this slide. Let it be consistent. Let the aligning of your images and your text be consistent throughout the slides. Why I'm saying slides is because I'll prefer you use Google Slides or PowerPoint. So you can take a screenshot of the visual and just import it to the slide you're using. Okay. The next point I also want to say is, please, less words. If you're doing a presentation, less words. You don't need too much words there, because nobody wants to read. Nobody wants to keep reading text. They want to listen to what you're saying, and also let it be communicated through visuals. All right. If I should say that, if I should write on a text that the US stock market, Tesla has reduced from this, compared to Apple, which has increased from this, nobody would, it's difficult to read that. But when I show this in a graphical form, with the use of a visual, and I talk about it, I don't even need to say much. By looking at it, they know one is higher than the other. And if there's a timestamp for that, they can actually see it through the visual. Okay, so less words, more visuals, and less talk in a particular slide. If you're talking about a particular slide, less talk, just go straight to the point. If you want to do some explanation, let it be brief. Okay, because you also be looking at time, right? So each team will be entitled to 15 minutes. All right. So it could be having 4 teams, could be having 5 teams, but at the end of the day, whatever amount of team we'll be having, it won't be more than 2 hours total. Right. So each team will be entitled to 15 minutes. So you would want to go through, this couple of times. If you want to meet on Tuesday, fine, but I'll only be able to come in on Wednesdays and Fridays. So I will share my time throughout that day, throughout those days. Okay. And the next thing I would say is it's just like a bonus tip. If you want to, let it be like, let it look like you guys are data analyst consultants. Okay, you are a company of group of data analysts, like in form of a company. Then you are out. You are currently consulting for a firm. That is the project you're working on, is a firm, right? Then you would want to do an introduction slide for your team. This is the CEO. This is the assistant CEO, this is the chief data analyst, something like that. It makes it look good. All right. So the more you practice this, the more you get used to it. So that when you get to a real working environment, you don't find yourself lagging behind in terms of experience. Okay. So one person can be the CEO, one person can be the CTO, one person can be the COO, chief data analyst, communication relation manager, whatever it is they want to use there. Or let there be an introduction of the team. Okay. Let there be an introduction of the team. Then okay, I think so. Basically, your introduction of the team or the name of the project should come first. Then introduction of your company should follow suit. Then introduction of the team. Then also introduction of the topic, right? Then after the introduction of the topic, you can then go into your findings, talk about what you were able to see, that, everything. Then after that, you have your conclusion. Okay. Then after conclusion, you can then talk about recommendation, right? Then if there's maybe some limitations you had while working on the data set, you can put that there because every data science or data analysis project sometimes or mostly have limitations. Okay. So you want to put that there and just make it look good. And also the color of your slide should be consistent. Okay, we don't want green one slide, blue one slide. If you have a company logo, fine, you can, or if you have a company color, you can use that throughout the presentation slides. I think that would be awesome. Okay, but don't make it look too much color, just too colorful. Just let it be simple, but let it pass the information that it needs to pass. Okay, yeah, I think that's all I need to say on presentation guidelines. So if you have any question, shoot me with it so I can help you clarify whatever it's in between. Hey, Bumi, go ahead with your question.
Yes, good morning, Daniel. Sorry, it's not about what you just said. I heard everything you just said, but I realized that while I was doing my own visualization and checking the videos, you were using most of the time the slicer to do your stuff. And I use filter for most of it, and I still got the same answer, sort of. So I'm wondering, what's the difference between using a slicer and actually using the filter on this visual option?
Okay, a slicer can be returned, right? You can return a slicer. You can return a slicer to its original form. If you are going to be doing more analysis on that particular visual, like let's say you want to find out the number of people that actually smoke that were absent in the month of April. So once I use a slicer and I click on smoker, it shows me the people that smokes that were absent in April. Then once I'm able to see that, I can unclick that slicer. It returns back to its original form. But now using a filter means you are most likely going to leave the visual that way. Okay, they will give you the same results, but filter means you have to keep going back to the filter pane to maybe unselect and do that. Sometimes you don't want to do it, but you're forced to do it. So filter is when the original view of the visual you're trying to make, you can do it through the filter. You're not going to change anything anytime soon. You want it to remain that way after you've done whatever you want to do using a filter pane. Okay, so that's the difference between slicer and filter, but they give you the same result. But just that one can be used quickly, generally used quickly, while the other one can it's difficult to return back. You have to keep going back to the filter pane to unselect and do all those things. Hope that answers the question.
Yes, it does. Thanks.
Okay. Do we have any question? Any question at all? Okay. Okay, Bolaji, go ahead.
Hello, Daniel. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to ask is, for example, now, we literally had category data, like all our data, the category to a particular, you understand, like just basic categories. So, either are we trying to look for the area of representation in the sector, or maybe, for example, now when I was going through the data, I said I would be those people that actually do not really comment like that. And the thing is, when I checked it also, I saw that, for example, those people who actually dedicated are highly dedicated. So what I'm trying to say, all this kind of is now, if you want to put how I put it, into the right job, if you want to put it into the right job, you think it's just going to be like just putting it there without adding anybody. Because for example now, I had a fight that I have to completion it's like that about plastic content on the page. So is it that we're going to just put it on the right job or
Okay. Here's an idea of what I think we should do. Now, if you're trying to show a visual for people that smoke and the number of times they were absent, you can filter that on your Power BI, then take a screenshot and save it somewhere, then return the visual in the Power BI to reach original form. Then that visual you made a screenshot of, take it to your Google slide and do a write-up that, okay, this is what you're able to find out using this, and this visual communicates it. It can be in 1 line or 2 lines, okay? Then you should have a visual that communicates what you just finished writing. So you don't want to put too much words there. Then in your Power BI, you can then move around your Power BI visuals. You can filter, maybe you want to find out the people that are overweight and obese, how many times they came late and their hit target for the week. Make your visual on that, screenshot it, then take it to Google Slides. If that's the information you want to pass, do whatever write-up you want to do on Google Slide, then show the visual for it. Then in your Power BI, you should return it back to the original form that you can use it for every other visual. Okay, so that's what I mean by transferring your visuals to Power BI. It has to be, to Google Slides, it has to be something that passes an information that it's in line with your story, whatever story you're telling. Okay, it doesn't have to be the same thing, but let it be. Okay, Bolaji, go ahead.
Okay, so sorry to cut you short, but for example now, I'm trying to just give a scenario. For example now, let me see, when I did my data, I saw that those people that were of age of 30 to 39, they were the ones that were actually absent more, and it was due to medical reasons. You understand? And normally every logic is just tending towards the fact that even it might not be their own medical reason, it might be for their child or for their for other things like that. So I don't know if it's possible to get like what all those things means, all those numbers for the reason of the absentee, because I just know that okay, basically 23 is like the highest. You understand? Division 23 is the highest, and it's also the highest for those guys that are within the range of 30 to 39, which I believe that should be like a trade for raising children and other things like that, which can also be, for example, the child can also be using white person. So with that, we might even say that maybe they should have like proper healthcare plan for the family. Do you know what I mean? So please just know possible get all those. I don't know if it's possible.
Okay. No, you won't be able to get all those reasons, but whatever assumption you have, you can communicate it on the slide that you found out that reason 23 had the most reports, okay, and it falls under medical reasons, that the company should, that whatever reason it might be, that since the age group is between 30 and 39, that this could be as a result of, raising a child or something, that whatever reason it might be, let it, sorry?
I said or childbirth.
Or childbirth, exactly. So the company can help provide healthcare or probably remote work for these people, so that while they are nursing their babies at home or wherever it is that might be the reason, they can work from home. If that's the reason, maybe childbirth or nursing a child at home. If that's the reason, provide them remote work. You get, so it's your own do it at your discretion, but the reasons can be given to you. But just know that since it's medical reasons, you can make your assumptions. There are so many assumptions for that. Okay, you can make your assumptions and give your recommendation based on your assumptions. I hope that makes sense. Okay.
So then,
all right.
quick one. So is it that the assumption is the way you have viewed the project and your thoughts towards it? So there's not like a universal answer that maybe 5 people have viewed the project or have done the visualizations. The 5 people come up with different things or different assumptions. Is that how it's supposed to actually be?
Yes, you can. It's just to look at how creative you can be with your assumptions and your approach. So it can be whatever it is you want to come up with, but let it be in line with, if it's medical reasons, come up with any assumption for medical reasons. If it's family related, come up with anything regarding that. If it's incomplete records or unjustified leave, come up with anything regarding that. Okay, but let it be in line with those categories. Then why this is not, but if you were to be a staff of this company, these reasons will be given to you, right? These reasons will be given to you. You would have them, maybe reason number 5 is the person had broken leg. Reason number 6 is the person has swollen eye. But those are all medical reasons. They would have been given to you. But these stuffs are, because when you look at the medical reason and maybe 23 is the person, let's just say the person got into a fight with the spouse and the person was medicalized, and you now look at the ID and look at the name of the employee, that's, you are getting information, private information about someone, right? So that's why at this point it's just not given per se, but they are giving you an idea of what these codes mean. 5 to 25 is medical reason, so you can just come up with something that relates to that medical reason that you feel, looking at the age, just like what Balaji said, that you feel is most likely to be the reason for being absent. I hope that makes sense, Balaji.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Daniel. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
To me, also, I don't know. I'm just saying. Also, the data is not really, I don't know, really like still kind of inconsistent because we're not giving the sex. Sex two was not given, so we would never be able to make like clear assumptions from it because the sex was not given also.
Okay, well, you can still make your assumption. If the sex is not given, you can say maybe most likely the person is a single parent if it's medical reasons and childbirth. So the truth is that information can never be as complete as you want it to be. All right. So yesterday I was invited to work on a project from the start, like gathering data, and I'm the only one doing it. Right. So I went to the organization to meet them to look at, okay, how can this data be collected? And looking at the data they had, it's a lot of information. But at the end of the day, it's no information because it was scattered. it was scattered. Like I have to now, what I have to do is now put this project as a 6 months project because I have to prepare this data, look into it, before I even start analyzing. Analyzing is not even the problem. It's gathering the information and arranging them. So at the end of the day, I found out that I got to know, because due to experience, I got to know that no matter how much I arrange this data, it's most likely not even, it's not going to be complete. So no data is 100% complete. But the thing is, what you have, you can work with, at least to an extent, you can work with it. So the data you have now, it has been worked on before, so I can tell you, you can work with it. Just make your informed assumptions. You can use the internet to, just come up with a very good informed assumption and go ahead with it. Okay. Right. So do we have any question again? So, no other question. No other question. All right then. So I don't want to keep you guys waiting, because you need to do your visuals even before you meet your teammates. You need to come up with something. Okay. And so the teams will be shared. I'm looking at 12 o'clock because I've actually gotten the minimum number I need. So I'm looking at 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock, the groups will share, and you guys can just go ahead and meet. So on Wednesdays, regardless of when you're meeting, on Wednesdays and Fridays, you can just book a time with me. Just let it be a day before, not on that day, a day before, so that I can move some things out of the way and be with you guys. I'll only stay for 10 minutes. All right. So a day before, just let me know when you want me to come in and assist you guys, more guidelines and all that, see where you are lagging. Then I'll be there for 10 minutes. Then so only on Wednesdays and Fridays. So if you want me to be there on Wednesday, you have to tell me on Tuesday. If you want me to be there again on Friday, you have to tell me on Thursday. That's clear enough. All right then, guys. If we have no other question, I guess we can call it a day. Wow, this is the shortest we have, 38 minutes. Okay, we can call it a day if we have nothing else, no other question to ask. Okay, thank you guys, and I'll see you when next or whenever it is you're inviting me. All right, then have a nice day.